All right, we welcome Ole Miss coach Yolett McPhee-McCuin to the dais, and we'll let Coach make an opening statement, then we'll turn it over to questions. Once again, please state your name and affiliation when you ask a question, and the closer you speak to the microphone, the better results we'll get. Coach?
Yeah, I mean, we're grateful to be here in Spokane. I had spent a year in the Pacific Northwest at Portland. I coached with the Portland Pilots. Shout out to Jim Sollers. And yesterday we were able to practice in an off-site at Gonzaga, and that was nostalgic because they were in the WCC at the time. So just really grateful for us to be here representing Ole Miss and still being one of the 16 teams that are vying for a national championship.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, obviously, Greg Lee with the Spokesman Review here in Spokane. Obviously, UCLA has such a dynamic player in 6'7" Lauren Betts. How do you defend her?
Yeah, I mean, I think the conversation has to be about UCLA being a really good team. You know, unless she's getting ready to put 70 on us, I don't know that that's their game plan. So I think we should probably give more credit to their team as a whole and what they're about and what they're able to do. So she's not the only one on our scouting report. We're kind of looking at everybody, and, you know, we're from the Southeastern Conference. I think we'll figure out a way to do our best.
Sam Sklar with the Clarion Ledger, Mississippi. With Christine being a former UCLA player, what made you bring her into Ole Miss? What did you like about her in the portal, and what have you just seen her bring to the team this season?
Yeah, we loved Christine out of high school, and so we wanted her out of high school. So once she got into the portal, it was a no-brainer for me. Although she didn't play much at UCLA, I knew what she was capable of. So sometimes it's about opportunity, and we had a need. And I think, and then obviously we had a need for her size and what she's able to do. And honestly, when I look at portal kids, I kind of see where they're coming from too. And so I have a lot of respect for Corey and how she runs her program. So I knew the type of kid I was getting, and that's important too.
Hi there, Evie Van Pelt with Riverwalk.com. You've said all season in post-game press conferences that you wanted to prepare and make mistakes early and then peak in March. Do you feel like that's what happened? I mean, have the girls learned to kind of take their mistakes and fix them in game instead of having to watch film and see what they did?
Yeah, I mean, if you've followed my head coaching career, this is my 12th season, we've always gradually got better because for me, I kind of coach through, you know, an explorative type of style. You know, let's figure things out. And with the transfer portal, you don't know what you know until you're in those situations. So what people were able to see is just us grow as a team. But I always said we would peak in March, and so we're definitely doing that now.
Hi, Maddie Kenny with the New York Post. I have two questions, but my first question, are you leaning on Christine for the scout? Are you talking to her, or picking her brain about UCLA?
You know what? These kids don't remember anything. And then, so they let me know. It lets me know. Like, they don't have to worry about us gaining any advantage because Christine, she has not been a help. And you know what? We hadn't asked her. I mean, y'all, it's 16 teams left, and all of us has played at least 30 games. We watch film, you know, we know what each other does, so we actually didn't even ask her.
Fair enough. With UCLA just being the top overall seed, how do you prepare your team so they don't put too much weight in knowing that and, you know, still come in with confidence and belief in themselves?
Yeah, I mean, our strength of schedule this year has been a 3. We opened up versus Southern California. We've played UConn. We've played NC State at their place. We play South Carolina, Texas, LSU, Tennessee. We've played half of the Sweet 16. So we could care less what anybody is ranked. We're from the Southeastern Conference. We have the best teams in that league. It's 6 of us in this. So, as far as I'm concerned, we kind of just take it game by game, matchup by matchup. And we've always gone into games as underdogs. When we went to LSU and beat them, we were the underdogs. This will be I think our 4th number 1 seed that was ranked to number 1 that we've had to play. So I think we have a lot of experience, and the pressure is not on us.
Kevin Pelton, ESPN.com. Second time in 3 years coming out to the state of Washington for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Did you learn anything from that first trip, and does this feel any different this time?
For sure. I mean, the first time we just partied the whole time. We were just, after we beat Stanford, it was like, whatever, like we just really had a blast the first time. Now, like we go to Waco, we don't even sightsee. Like we're not taking anything in. Like we're here for business. And we've kind of built the team like that. My first year when we went to the Sweet 16, I think there were only 4 of us in the whole program that had experienced the Sweet 16. And I was one of them. And then my coach was another. So I think there had maybe been 2 others. This time, the only people, first of all, our whole team has experienced the NCAA tournament, but only the freshmen hadn't. And then Toddy, Maddie, Iana, Christine, Tam have all been to the Sweet 16. So we're just a little bit more mature and understand what's at stake. The first time, we were just partying like rock stars.
Evie Van Pelt, again with the Rebelwalk.com. You mentioned this briefly in Waco last weekend. What does it mean to you that your team is actually earning units for Ole Miss for the first time?
It means a lot. I mean, it's been a hard fight. A lot of people that were definitely wiser. That's what I say. The people that are older, they're wiser. They have fought for this opportunity to happen, and I think it's going to even get better. I mean, you cannot deny the impact that women's sports has in 2025 unless you just want to. So, we're doing our part. I definitely sent the sheet to my AD, even though I knew he knew. And people could try to say, oh, it's not enough. We don't get to decide that. I just know that it is something, and I don't think that there's value of anything if it's free. So I love the fact that now there's a value for women's basketball, and I'm 100% sure it will increase.
Sam Scott with the Clarion Ledger. With the transfer portal being open right now, as you're also preparing for the Sweet 16, what are just your thoughts on having to do both at the same time, or what has just been kind of the approach your team has taken on perhaps multitasking that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a part of our job, especially I'm a self-proclaimed Portalista. So we kind of prepare for this moment. We know, we have an idea of who may go in the portal because of just the rumor reel. And then we kind of just sit back and wait and see if it happens. Coaches now are GMs. We're all figuring out who's leaving, who's staying. So we only signed 1 freshman because I prefer a mature team. I don't think in today's times you can be young. By the time they get old, they're ready to get rid of you. So you kind of got to stay mature and stay old. And you can see that with my team. And it's just a part of it. Do we want it to, I would prefer for it to be at the end of the season, but I've also been in those rebuilding stages when I needed an opportunity to be able to recruit and get in there. And so, I don't make the rules, I just play the game. But it's been wild because I have been reading stuff and I'm like, that's not right. Like, we're not recruiting that person. But you know what? they say even if it's bad news, as long as they're talking about you, it's good.
Let's go to Zoom real quick, and a question from Donna Strawberry. Donna, are
Hey,
you with
Coach.
us?
Hi. Can you hear me? Okay. Donna Sprayberry, therebelwalk.com. You know, we often talk about the girls and their experience and working hard all year, but can you talk about your staff? Because they each have such a huge role in developing these girls from summer on, and what this process has mean to them to watch them grow and get to this point.
Yeah, Donna, that's a great question. Shout out to the Mississippi media that's here. Way to represent. But, you know, I'm glad you asked that because last year I was under a lot of scrutiny because, you know, I had made changes on my coaching staff, and the whole thing was that we had just went to the NCAA tournament. Why would I do such a thing? But I've never really been a traditional type coach, and I've always been pretty open and clear with my staff. And the reason why I made a change is because I felt like, for me, at the end of the day, I want to win a national championship. And so in order to do that, since I hadn't done it, I thought it was important to have people around that has, like Quentin Hillsman, coached in the national championship game, and then, you know, Coach Amp and Coach Choi played in the Elite Eight. And then I was able to bring in two of my former players and put them on staff so that they can teach everybody the Ole Miss way. There's no coach that's out here doing it by themselves. My staff is elite. They understand what's at stake. They've been great for me, and I've really been able to do my best job as a coach because of them. The things that they handle for me, the things that they take off of my plate, and I'll put my staff up against anybody.
All right. Thank you, Coach. It's time
Thank you.
to let Coach go and get student athletes up here. All right, we welcome Madison Scott and Kennedy Todd-Williams to the dais, and we'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Sam Sklar with the Clarion Ledger, Mississippi. For Madison, your team has obviously faced a ton of elite teams of this caliber already this season. How do you think that's maybe prepared you coming into this game?
Yeah, I say it all the time that our coaches did a great job with setting up the schedule this year. From day one, opening up in Paris against USC. We've seen great players, great teams. We've been prepared for this moment, you know. So that's what gives us the belief, the confidence, knowing that we've been battle tested, you know. So we're ready for whatever comes our way.
Hi, Evie Van Pelt with therebelwalk.com. For both of y'all, you're both leaders of this team. Is there anything you feel like you need to do to ensure the team's locked in and maybe doesn't let the moment get too big for them?
Kennedy, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, like Maddie said, we've been in this position before, playing against great teams. Keeping our composure is the biggest thing, and having that belief that, you know, we're here for a reason. I think that's the biggest thing for us. You know, we have experienced guards, and everyone that, you know, our seniors, you know, we lead this team. And so just ensuring them and, you know, keeping that confidence and belief is the biggest thing.
What she said.
Greg Lee with the Spokesman Review here in Spokane. What sort of difficulties will a matchup with a 6'7" center for UCLA pose for you? Let's start with Madison.
Please repeat the question.
Will defending the 6'7" center for UCLA, have you seen somebody that size? Does that present a challenge?
Well, Lauren Betts is a great player. UCLA is a great team. So it would definitely be a challenge. But like I said, we've been battle testing and putting positions all season long. Our last game, we played a very physical post against Baylor, you know, and also we play in the SEC. So we see big, tough posts every night. You get what I'm saying? So it'll definitely be a challenge, but God has prepared us. Our coaches have prepared us. You know, we are prepared. So we're ready. So it should be a great matchup.
Let's go to Zoom real quick for Donna Sprayberry. Donna?
Hi, girls. Donna Sprayberry, therebelwalk.com. This question is for both of you. Coach talked about earlier the portal's already open. Maddie, you've been at Ole Miss your entire career. Toddy, you transferred in. Tell people that are in the portal why they should come to the SIP.
Yeah. You want to come to, you know, a family atmosphere, people that welcome you with open arms. You know, I was a transfer, and it's not easy, of course, but, you know, it's made my ride smooth with coming in and, you know, being surrounded by good people and people that actually care about you. So, yeah, come to the SIP.
Yes, what she said, but also if you want to be average, this isn't the place for you. And I say that, you know, proudly. I say it each and every day that when you come here, you're pushed outside your comfort zone. You're pushed to be great. Every goal that you set out for, that you told Coach O you wanted, she's going to push you to that. And she's going to hold you to that standard. So some days you're not going to like it. You know, some days it's going to be tough. But look at where we're sitting right now. That should be enough to tell you that this is the place to come to. You know, you're going to be able to come here and, like Toddy said, be in a family atmosphere, be around other people that want to be great, and also, you know, be at a place where everybody's pushing you, from the managers to our practice players to our staff to our coaches. You're never alone here, you know? So that's why you should come to the SIP, because you're coming to be a part of something that's greater than you, you know, that will help you be successful not only on the court but in life.
Kevin Pelton, ESPN.com. I have one for each of you. Starting Madison, Coach mentioned that 2 years ago, you know, this trip to the Sweet 16 felt very different in terms of the emotions of beating Stanford and everything. How does it compare for you?
It's definitely different. It was a lot of emotions beating Baylor, but we have been here before. If I'm being completely honest, like our goals are bigger. You know, we want to keep going. We want to keep dancing. The last time Ole Miss won an Elite Eight, I think was 07, 08, with Coach Mint was here playing for Ole Miss. So this Sweet 16 run has been amazing, just like the one was before. But where the difference is, I think we're hungry. I'm being completely honest. Back then, we were just happy, you know, to do something that hadn't been done in a very long time. But now we've done that again, so we're not complacent. We're not satisfied. We want to keep going. We want to keep dancing. We want to keep making our Oxford community proud. So we plan to do just that.
And then for Kennedy, Coach O referred to herself as a portalista, which was a new term to us that you may have heard. But what was her pitch like when she reached out to you and coming off of that run?
Yeah, just her believing in me was the biggest thing that really sold me. And, you know, just coming to a place where she saw me for who I was as a person. And, she just opened me with open arms and, you know, was really set out for what I wanted for my future, and really took that personal for her. And so that's, you know, I thank God, you know, that I'm here, because I wouldn't know what to do. So.
Hi, Maddie Kenny from the New York Post. You guys opened your season against USC, played Juju, have experience with that. Obviously, they're in the other area of the bracket, but at this regional, they're playing. Just the loss of her, can you kind of speak about, you know, what that means, not just for them as a team, but, you know, women's basketball, nobody wants to see somebody go down.
Yeah, no, we're definitely sending our prayers out to Juju and the entire USC, you know, community, university. She's a great player, you know, playing against a player like that makes you better, you know. So she's a great player, a great leader, and a great influence in the women's game, you know. So you never want to see anybody go down with injury. But just playing against her, her persistence, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's loud, it screams, it speaks volumes. So there's no doubt in my mind, in our mind, that she'll bounce back and continue to be the great player that she is. So we're definitely sending our prayers to her, but I'm sure she'll keep going, and I'm sure USC will keep going as well.
Kennedy, do you have thoughts?
Second that.
Yeah, Maddie, Coach O talked about how when y'all beat Stanford that it was just like y'all partied like rock stars. And so how are things different this go-round than they were then to you in your mind as a player?
Yeah, definitely. Like she said, we beat Stanford and we went crazy, you know. But this time around, you know, we beat Baylor and we celebrated, but it was short-term memory. It was back to work. You know, we traveled back to Oxford. We washed, packed, and we completely changed our mindset to UCLA. You know, and that shows, you know, where we are as a program. This shows the growth of this program. Because, again, back then, we were, again, satisfied. But, again, now we're not. Now in this situation, we're not satisfied. We're not okay with settling. You get what I'm saying? We want so much more, you know, for us, for the Oxford community, for our university, you know, for all the hard work that we put in since day one. You know, we want more, and we want to give our all every time, you know, we step out on the floor, and we plan to give our all when we step on the floor tomorrow.
Kennedy, with Christine just being a former UCLA player and now she's playing her former team, what has she just kind of brought to this program, or what has it been like being teammates with her this season?
Christine is awesome. You know, just a joy to play with on and off the court. But I think just her as a human being and just the way that she carries herself like a pro. And, you know, on the court, just, you know, she's what we need. You know, I mean, big body post, just, you know, her effort, everything that she does, you know, she comes in every day and works really hard. So she's been a really good addition to this program, and we're really glad that she's here.
More questions for Ole Miss student athletes? Okay, we'll let them go.